appalled, I'm hurt, but quite frankly, most of all, I never saw this coming. You may know what I'm referring to, Liver King. That's right, he is a liar. Definitely no one knew he was on steroids this entire time. And it may come to a shock to most of you. I know it sounds fake, but it's real. He has been on steroids. And he came out with a video. He was exposed the other day. Someone leaked his email that he was having with a doctor, and he was talking about different steroids and different supplements that he was taking, and he was asking for advice from a medical professional, as you should when you do anything. And taking steroids, I'm not judging him for taking steroids. Taking steroids is well within his rights. He can do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Live your life how you want to. However, it does become a problem when you are one of the biggest influencers for natural living. And he says living by the 9 tenets of nature, I believe it's called. I don't know. I'm not that big fan of Liver King, as you could probably tell. I honestly don't really care. But as a gym enthusiast, I do care a lot because I like taking care of my body. It may not look like it, but underneath, this is a pump cover. Okay, obviously I'm very large and huge underneath this. I'm 175 pounds of just pure massive muscle. But this isn't about me. This is about Liver King and his video that he just came out with, titled "Liver King Confession. ... I lied." And quite frankly, just looking at Liver King, you can probably tell he's on steroids. I mean, look at his abs. Man is fully sat, and his abs are still protruding like 6 inches from his stomach. Okay? That just doesn't happen. Alright? Have you seen Christopher Seabum? Okay? The best bodybuilder in the world? He doesn't even look like when he sits down, man. Okay, what I'm saying is he very clearly, people knew that he was on steroids. But it just came to fruition when it was leaked, and he actually came out with it. So, let's see what he has to say.
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize.
Now, to be honest, Liver King, before this, to my understanding, before the fame of, the primal tenets and stuff like that, he was rich beforehand, I'm assuming. And that's not an assumption. I know that he was rich beforehand. But he also doesn't strike me as the kind of person to lie and try and cover it up. So I don't really know what he's going to say here, but he just doesn't seem like the person that's going to be like, that was a fake email. I just don't think he's going to do that.
Because I fucked up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed.
That's fair.
Because I lied.
He just came out and said it.
A lot of people. I've stated that this is a complicated as fuck topic, at least to me it is, because before social media, I was rich and anonymous. And after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous, and I never expected this kind of exposure in the public eye. It's been tricky.
Which is fair. Many people have been known to make more mistakes when they come into the public eye. iShowSpeed just recently made a really big mistake, and it's not something he intended to do. I don't think he intended to scam his viewers, but he made a mistake, and he has to deal with consequences for having such a big following. Similar to this situation, maybe Liver King didn't always use supplements and steroids. Maybe he didn't always do that. But when he started to come in the public eye, he had an appearance to upkeep. He's 40 almost. That's really tough to do. So who knows? Who knows?
As fuck to navigate. Well, clearly I did it wrong. And I'm here now to set the record straight. Yes, I've done steroids. And yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician.
Okay, he's on steroids. Quite frankly, I don't know if he's just a good actor. He's obviously not apologizing for that, but maybe not yet, but it seems genuine to me. That seems like he's just genuinely upset that he was putting on a facade, though it was quite obvious to some people. He seems like he's upset that now it's come to full light.
Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves, the 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life.
I get what he's saying. That's the reason I want to create content too, is to help people that are in those situations that feel like they have nothing left and have somebody to turn to. I completely agree. However, I feel like this may be a bit of a deflection here. Maybe this is his true intentions, but now that it's come to light that he's been faking it, I feel like this may be a bit of deflection to take some heat off of him and kind of channel it into something else. Because until now, at least to my knowledge, I haven't heard him talk about, this program is for, people with suicidal thoughts and people that, have lost their will to live. Like, I haven't heard him talk about that. Maybe that is the case. Maybe he's all about that. But quite frankly, I haven't heard anything about that until this specific moment, when he's now having to confront the accusations that are true. So I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit of the deflection there. However, I do agree with that synopsis that, content creation is a really big way that you can help people who are going through things like that.
Our young men are hurting the most, feeling lost, weak, and submissive. So I made it my job.
That's
to
true.
Model, teach, and preach.
That's actually a true statement. The highest suicide rates for males it's never been higher than this year. Never been higher.
A simple, elegant solution called ancestral living, the 9 ancestral tenets, so our people no longer have to suffer, so we can collectively express our highest and most dominant form. This is my fight. This is why I exist. While spreading the message, I've been on several podcasts, and when asked if I've ever taken steroids, I've always said no. I don't touch this stuff, not gonna touch this stuff, never touch this stuff.
Now that I do remember, I've watched several podcasts with him in it.
I've convinced myself that this had nothing to do with the ancestral message. I convinced myself that I'm not a competitive athlete of any kind, so who the fuck am I cheating? I convinced myself that this topic was a placeholder for a far more important conversation.
I fully believe that. When you are not competing, it is very easy to slip into the mindset that getting away with little things, even though steroids is kind of a big thing, but little things, it's much easier for you to do, and it becomes a habit. It becomes easy. Much like when you hop on League of Legends and you open up your op.gg to see what the enemy team is picking, or to see what their play style is like, or to get some knowledge on who you're playing. Believe it or not, that is cheating. Using a third-party software that's not incorporated into the game that you're not supposed to know about, and you're using that for your advantage. It doesn't seem like much because you're not competing in professional esports, but if a professional esports player did that, even on their stream when they weren't playing a real match, they'd probably be kicked out forever. It seems menial to us because it's our everyday life. And I say us, meaning you guys. I would never do that because I'm not cringe, and it's League of Legends. Who plays it anyways? I play it all the time. I don't know why I said that. However, I get where he's coming from with that. I totally understand.
I convinced myself that this would overshadow the 36 years of working out, usually twice a day, without PEDs. I've convinced myself that this was the vocal minority, usually in the fitness category, driving to an unproductive conversation. And I had convinced myself that this would be the wrong message to send to the 15-year-old boys. So I continually dismissed it, and I dug myself into a bigger and deeper hole.
Quite frankly, I understand where he's coming from. I get where he's coming from. If you rose to fame, and you weren't necessarily legit, what would you do? You probably, majority of people, unless you're a super, super moral person, probably the most moral person in America, you probably wouldn't just come to light and be like, yes, so I'm not completely legit, this is what's going on. Much like people try and fake Minecraft speedruns. Nobody just comes out and openly admits that they cheated. There has to be investigations done. The speedrun mods have to go through it piece by piece and determine whether this guy actually cheated or not. There's plenty of situations and scenarios that happen in our everyday life that we just won't be honest about. Or, for example, when somebody comes up to you and they say, hey, aren't you this guy from blah, 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 and you don't hear them quite right, and you just answer yes because you don't know what they actually said, and they always go about their life thinking you're from something that you're not, and you just never correct them, even if you find out. It's the same situation, and it happens all the time. However, like I said, when you're a content creator of this size, there are consequences for your actions like that. Sometimes it's loss of following. Sometimes it's being kicked off the platform that you're on. In Liver King's case, I don't know what it will be. He's being quite honest, I feel like. So I don't know what the repercussions are going to be like for him.
I have only myself to blame. I did that. And it was all wrong. I will be better. I will talk about it openly because I believe that there's a time and a place for pharmacological intervention monitored and managed by a trained hormone physician.
Okay.
In 2021, when I was 43 years old,
I want to take a quick pause there. If Liver King, if Liver King were to create content and be open about his steroid usage, there would be no problem. He would probably have less of a following because of that, but he can live his life however he wants. And I don't know if he lives in America or not, so it might be more. I don't even know if steroids are illegal in general. I don't know, but there's no problem with that. He can live his life however he chooses. It's that he made a story that he got these unearthly gains from doing these 9 ancestral tenets, like eating raw meat and all this stuff, or a prayer, or whatever it is. But he wasn't open about his steroid usage. If he were open about his steroid usage and then like also put these 9 ancestral tenets into it, he probably would have just become such as big as a creator as he's now. But as he said, he doesn't want to give that message to 15-year-old boys, which I get. But if you're going to be a content creator, especially one that is a bodybuilder, and use steroids, you've already given off that message. It's one cannot stand without the other, unfortunately.
I didn't feel 100% physically or cognitively. So I went to get monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician to see what the fuck was going on with my life. And so yes, it's true. I have tried several peptide combinations in an effort to increase my growth hormone, and it didn't work, meaning that my levels still remained below the normal level. So yes, it's also true that I've tried pharmaceutical grade growth hormone, and I finally found success in managing therapeutic levels in the normal range. Yes, this is true. I've continued on with 0.6 cc's of testosterone per week, roughly 120 milligrams of testosterone a week. And no, I don't take any other steroids like nandrolone or winstrol, but I have tried them in the past without success. Yes, it's also true that my blood chemistry.
I think that takes a lot of courage to admit. He not only admitted that he is on steroids now, what he uses specifically, he also admitted, I have used these in the past, but I no longer use them now. He's coming to full light. He didn't even have to mention that he doesn't use it, that he used it in the past. He didn't have to do that. But he's coming full light with everything, and I really appreciate that. I can appreciate this sentiment.
Fucked up while taking nandrolone and winstrol. My lipids got all deranged. My liver enzymes went sky high, which is why clinical oversight is an absolute must. Nope. The Liver King brand has had nothing, or at least very little, to do with my business success. My companies were already kicking ass, already successful before the Liver King public figure, growing at 50% year over year and still growing at the same pace after the Liver King public figure. Nope. I've never had ab implants, ab etching, or any other plastic surgery, and I sure as fuck never actually had gene editing done in Singapore. I made all of that up. It was all intended to be a joke, and that's an expression of ancestral 10 and 10. Have a little goddamn fun. Ultimately, why did I, or why do I do them?
However, okay. I believe he's telling the truth. However, I believe heavily that he has had ab etching. Abs, especially when you are seated, do not stay in the same form, because you're now allowing the muscles to stop being stretched and being pushed together. And so even when I have my abs, like when you're standing, they look normal, but when you sit, they clump together and they seat themselves differently. His abs just are always there and always protruding. So I don't know the validity of that. But who am I to say?
When I talk about the 85% of the population that suffers from self-esteem issues, that's me. I'm part of that statistic. This is why I fucking work myself to death in the gym. This is why I do 12 to 15 blood-burning workouts a week, just to feel like I'm okay.
That's fair.
Still, I have to absolutely crush myself to do so, and I'm wrecked physically and cognitively, and hormone replacement has helped in a profound and significant way.
I think a lot of people are going to take this out of context. He is merely explaining why he felt the need that he needed steroids and he needed to push himself so hard. And I think a lot of people are going to take it as he's trying to get a sob story out of it, when in reality, I don't believe that's what's happening at all.
And still, I believe that the path to paradise is paved in fucking hell. I previously have said in a weird way, I'm grateful for the recent events that have shed light on this complicated as fuck topic. I knew I needed to take this opportunity to openly discuss everything. For me to be...
Quite frankly, I believe that too. When you get, I would imagine that if I were a creator that were cheating my viewers and not being honest, it would start to weigh very heavily on me personally, because that's just part of my personality. I would imagine this is weighed very heavily on him as well. And I can understand why he's thankful that it's come to light. So now has no other option but to tell the truth, which is going to be a very hard situation to put yourself in, especially when you've grown to such a level, and now you have to tear down your empire in a manner of speaking, tear down your empire. And there comes relief with being forced to tell the truth. You know what I mean?
Be a better human. If there are any questions that remain unanswered, send them my way. I fully own that I fucked up. I am as sorry as a man can be. And all I can do is take extreme ownership right now, be better, and lead myself to a better life as a better human. Again, thank you to everyone for the support, the criticism, the love, the hate, and above all else, the loyalty. Liver King. Out.
Okay, well, quite frankly, I don't think there's any more to say. He quite literally went over everything that I could possibly have a question about. He was honest, in my opinion. I think he's honestly showed through his. He gave us exactly what he's used. Winstraw in the past. He's used a ton of other drugs that I can't remember the names to. And he even went a step further. He's like, I don't use those anymore, but here's what I use now. And he, quite frankly, I think he laid it all on the table. Now it's up for the viewers to decide, as far as his subscribers, his followers on Instagram and TikTok, what happens to him next. Do they want to deal with him still? Do they want to remain loyal? Which they would be completely justified in taking away that loyalty, I feel. Because quite frankly, this is a huge lie. He's given the... what's the word I'm looking for? The precedent that his lifestyle is attainable by doing 9 steps that don't require any steroid usage, when in reality it's not attainable through that. And who knows if his methods even work at all in reality. From my understanding, the only reason he's so big and jacked is because he used steroids and worked out twice a day. So if I want to be like that, I need to do the same. You know, who knows? But that's up for you to decide. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to slap a like on it, maybe a comment. If you like this style of video, let me know. And most importantly, make an informed decision. Whenever situation happens like this, make sure you get all your information together. Make sure you understand what's going on with the content creator, why they did what they did. Just like this video was very informative and told us exactly why Liver King did what he did. And from there, make an informed decision on what you feel should happen to the content creator. As far as maybe you unsubscribe, maybe you no longer watch their videos, maybe you unfollow them on TikTok. Something logical, not something illogical. But thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
Heavy sighs like clouds surround me. Why do they feel so lonely? I can't pretend to care. I'm trying to be happy.